Cinnamon. It's the warm, comforting spice we sprinkle on everything from oatmeal to lattes. It's praised as a superfood, a natural blood sugar remedy, and it's even taking over social media as the latest wellness trend. But here's what nobody's talking about. Cinnamon has a dark side. And if you're one of the millions taking it daily, especially in supplement form, you need to hear this. Let's quickly cover the common issues documented in systematic reviews of thousands of participants. Gastrointestinal problems, stomach aches, nausea, heartburn, diarrhea. These hit a significant number of participants, especially at higher doses. Allergic reactions, hives, rashes, skin irritation. Headaches, reported across multiple trials. Most research calls these mild and self-limiting. But for some people, the effects are far more serious. And that brings us to the real concern. The biggest safety red flag identified across multiple systematic reviews is hepatotoxicity, liver damage, caused by a compound called coumarin. Here's the critical part. Not all cinnamon is the same. There are two main types. Cassia cinnamon, the cheap, common variety, contains up to 4,800 milligrams of coumarin per kilogram. Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon, contains only 17 milligrams per kilogram. That's over 280 times more coumarin in cassia. Why does this matter? Animal studies show coumarin causes elevated liver enzymes, markers of liver stress and damage. In humans, prolonged use or high doses raise serious hepatotoxicity concerns. The European Food Safety Authority set a safe daily limit at just 0.1 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. But here's the problem. Most cinnamon supplements don't specify which type they use, and most use the cheaper cassia variety. Most of the time, cinnamon is not tested for purity because there is no regulation governing cinnamon as a food supplement. And before we go further, I want you to do something right now. Go check your pantry. Does your cinnamon bottle say Ceylon or just cinnamon? Drop your answer in the comments. I bet most of you have cassia and don't even know it. So why doesn't everyone just use Ceylon cinnamon? Two reasons: cost and availability. Ceylon is more expensive and harder to find. Plus, and this is crucial, it hasn't been studied extensively in human clinical trials. Most diabetes research used cassia. So we have this ironic situation. The type that's been studied more is also the type that poses greater safety risks. Now here's a practical tip you can use right now to tell them apart. Cassia cinnamon sticks are thick, hard, and made of a single layer of bark that's difficult to break. They're dark reddish-brown. Ceylon cinnamon sticks are thin, brittle, and look like a rolled cigar with multiple papery layers. They're lighter tan in color and break easily. If you're buying ground cinnamon, it's harder to tell, which is exactly why labeling matters. If the label doesn't say Ceylon, assume it's cassia. One more thing about supplements, cinnamon capsules with ground bark are the highest risk because they contain the full coumarin content. Some water-based cinnamon extracts may be safer since coumarin is fat-soluble and doesn't always transfer into water extracts. But ground bark in capsules? That's the full coumarin load hitting your system. Now let's talk about something that could be life-threatening: bleeding risks. Multiple studies warn that cinnamon may increase bleeding risk, especially in people who have liver problems, take blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, are scheduled for surgery. One case report documented intra-abdominal bleeding in someone who consumed high doses of Ceylon cinnamon before surgery. Animal research shows coumarin can reduce platelet counts, the cells responsible for blood clotting. As for drug interactions, cinnamon may affect diabetes medications, potentially causing dangerous drops in blood sugar. The problem is that most trials didn't systematically monitor for drug interactions, so we don't know the full scope of this risk. So what's actually safe? In normal cooking, cinnamon is generally fine for most people, especially when using Ceylon cinnamon. Where caution matters is supplements and daily high-dose use. Some studies suggest amounts under about 6 grams per day for short periods may be tolerated by many adults, but those studies were short, often lasting only weeks. We don't have solid data on long-term daily use. That's why anyone considering cinnamon supplements should talk with their doctor first. Bottom line, Cinnamon isn't dangerous, but type, dose, and frequency matter, and supplements should never be used without medical guidance. And before we wrap up, I need to mention something. The dark side of cinnamon isn't just about health. The industry has serious issues with labor exploitation, pesticide contamination, food fraud, with cheaper Cassia often mislabeled as Ceylon, and environmental damage from unsustainable farming practices. Plus, studies have found heavy metals and even microplastics in some cinnamon products. These are topics I'll dive deeper into in a future video, but it's worth knowing that your cinnamon's journey to your spice rack might not be as pure as you think. Look, I'm not here to tell you to throw out your cinnamon. In normal culinary amounts, it's generally safe for most people. But if you're taking cinnamon supplements or consuming therapeutic doses daily, you need to understand the risks. The most common side effects, gastrointestinal issues and allergic reactions, affect a notable percentage of users. The most serious concern, liver toxicity from coumarin, is real, especially with Cassia cinnamon at high doses or prolonged use. The bottom line? Cinnamon isn't the harmless spice many believe it to be, especially in supplement form. We need better long-term safety data, standardized formulations, and clear labeling about cinnamon type and coumarin content. If you're using cinnamon medicinally, talk to your doctor. Consider switching to Ceylon if you're using it regularly. And remember, just because something is natural doesn't mean it's risk-free. Now, I want to hear from you. Did you check your pantry? Was it Cassia or Ceylon? And have you experienced any side effects from cinnamon? Share your story in the comments. If this information surprised you, please share this video. Someone in your life probably needs to hear this. Thanks for watching. Stay happy and healthy.